Hello, this is Christina from Krislana Crafts. Welcome to my channel and welcome back if you're my subscriber already. Well, I'm sharing today the 10 makes that I shared on my Instagram page for the 10-day challenge. I was nominated by dear friend Karina to participate in this challenge and share on 10 consecutive days 10 different posts and nominate 10 different artists. So I've been able to complete the challenge. I'm so happy about that. I would like to thank Karina for the nomination. It was a wonderful opportunity for me to share my work and also nominate 10 amazing artists to participate as well. So thank you so much, Karina. And also I would like to thank all the artists who I tagged and also joined the challenge. It's been a pleasure seeing your makes as well. So I organized the makes in the order they appeared on my Instagram page. And I'm gonna begin from the first one and talk about each one in terms of the supplies I used, etc. Starting with number one. This was a very simple notebook that I bought, and I just covered the front and back covers with a digital of mine, actually two papers from a digital collection of mine called Eco-Dyed Papers. It's a very versatile kit with different shades and imprints of eco-dyeing, my eco-dyeing experiences. So there you can see I used some at the bottom, some lace, dotted Swiss, and I'm showing the back. The back is a different paper from the front. They're both beautiful. And I created this frame. It's a Tim Holtz frame. Inside I used an image from my Sweet Valentine's kit, and I added on top dotted Swiss. So I think the effect was, quite cute. The spine, which was just stapled originally, I covered with broderie anglaise. Very simple. And I used some gilding wax also on the frame, which is, by the way, recycled from paper roll. I love recycling things. I hate just throwing things in the bin to waste, so I recycle as much as I can. As you can see, it's a very simple notebook. I didn't do anything to the inside, right? And I decided not to take away from the cover. I decided to just use some dotted Swiss as closure. Right, for day 2, it's this very small make. I created this with, as a base, I used a printable of mine from Purple Feast, and then I just layered eyelet trim, notebook paper. This beautiful girl is an image from Jacqueline. Oh, the notebook paper has some texture paste on it, which I had just shown. And the beautiful image of this girl is from Jacqueline. and I love it. I added vintage or antique lace, modern lace to the bottom here, and a bow pin with sequin and some beads. A simple make, but I think it's so pretty. On to number 3. I created this. This is how it was shown on in the challenge. I had this vellum page with texture. This is a printable of mine, to which I added texture paste, and I glue on top this image from Ruby and Pearl XO, this number from Your Turn, a Your Turn number, some fluff from Sari Silk, which I don't like to waste, and a little trim. And there is another small piece of a scrap of digital, I think, on top of the fluff. And I just placed it on this music sheet, and I'm considering actually gluing or sewing, probably sewing 2 sides or 3 sides to make it into a belly band or a pocket. We'll see. The music page is a modern one. It's an ordinary one. It's not vintage or anything. For day 4, I created this neutral toned make, which I was very happy about. I used an envelope from my Easter piece digital kit. It's a digital kit that I created this year. Actually, this is from Easter piece ephemera. I have Easter piece only and Easter piece ephemera. The envelope is from the ephemera kit. And I just added a number of things. I paper clipped a number of things. The only thing which is actually glued is this handmade paper. The other things are just paper clipped in a way that they look pretty, but they can be moved around, can be taken to another place. I use some texture paste on this dyed paper. This is a technique that I shared previously, and I think I'm gonna share it again because I have many more subscribers nowadays, actually followers on IG, and so I may share it again. And I use some Sari Silk and vintage or antique. This is actually vintage lace. And the ticket is a vintage one as well. Vintage or antique, it looks really old, that one. The paper clip was a gift from my husband. Is a heart paper clip, and I just tied a bow with polka dot Sari Silk and added a bulb pin with some beads and little pearls. For day 5, I created this bag following Heather, Ruby and Pearl's idea of making vellum bags. So I used one of her printables. This is one of my favorite ones from her shop. I layered brown paper, embossed brown paper, dotted Swiss, and a trim and some gold flecks. And I just put a few things inside. The finish at the top was made with pinking shears, new pinking shears, very delicate ones that my husband gifted me. And I love them a lot, and I've been using them all the time now. next one up is day 6. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. And I have all this fluff coming off, which I think I'll have to secure somehow. And this is, I think, a pretty make. I use just a notebook page as a base, and then I layered on top washi tape, this rose gold washi tape. This one is a digital of mine from Love is Blue. Then I layered several different papers, digitals. I think they are all from Ruby and Pearl. This one under the photograph is definitely from Ruby and Pearl. It shows a beautiful flower bouquet. And I laid on top these 2 girls, also from Ruby and Pearl. And this one reminds me a lot of my sister. And the other one reminds me a little of my other sister. Funny coincidence, I think. So I used some lace and trim on top of the photograph. And there I'm showing the lace is vintage and the trim is from boho tree. The flower, I sort of fussy cut the flower from a trim and added it there. I really loved how this turned out. So pretty. At the bottom I have some vintage or antique lace. Not sure if it's vintage or antique. I never know. I know when I buy, but then I forget. This label says, each happiness of yesterday is a memory for tomorrow. This is from the souvenir kit. And I thought it was perfect there. It went well there. I use some fluff that goes from sari silk that goes well with the image under the girls. And I wanted to use a brand that would contrast with it. I actually had an orange bread and other different ones, or just gold or white, but I really wanted to use that green flower for a bit of contrast. Excuse me. Now on to number, I'm a bit lost now, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Number 7, I used as a base a wallpaper from Lily. I recycled a wallpaper she had made into an envelope and shipped to me. So I embossed part of it, the top, and actually used the back part of it because I wanted it to be neutral on the front, since I have this image from Ruby and Pearl XO of these women. And this one is from one of my kits. I'm pretty sure it's from Sweet Valentine's. I added this handmade paper and decorated with sari silk and a vintage trim and that little flower from my local craft store. This bottom part of the make was made into a pocket, and I could add this tag and this label. Both the tag and the label were gifted to me by a dear friend, Marcia from Mills Junk Journal on Instagram. And the clip, the paper clip, is the same one that my husband gave me. He gave me a few. The tag I embossed and used gilding wax, added sari silk and a bow pin with a little charm. And on the label I used an actual vintage, I paper clipped to it an actual vintage ticket. The next one up, which was for day 8 of the challenge, is the only make that I didn't create specifically for the challenge. This was part of my journal. It was a postcard, the copy of a postcard that Jacqueline sent me with a purchase, and I was absolutely in love with this image of this lady. So beautiful. So I put it in my journal together with the sampler showing some sari trims, 4 different sari trims. The sampler card is from Sample Designs, and the trims are all from boho tree. So I took this out of the journal to show you together with the other makes. The next one up is my make for day 9 of the challenge, and this one, besides the official post for the challenge on Instagram, I also filmed a little reel and shared, because I wanted to show the mechanics of it, since it's a bookmark with magnets. And I also wanted to show you, because of the special paper, I wanted to show the shimmer it has. What I actually did there was I printed some butterflies from my Defoam butterfly. It's a digital kit that I have with these beautiful butterflies. And I also printed on the back this beautiful paper that I'm showing there now from the Reader digital kit. And so I created with the background paper, I created the part of the bookmark that will actually hold the magnets and stick to the page. And I fussy cut the butterflies, added some lace trim, sari trim from boho tree, added, see, I'm showing how it works, and the shimmer is just so beautiful. I just loved printing on this kind of paper. I added some, oh, and this is my envelope. I just used an envelope to put it on. It's from, this is actually an original, but I have a digital kit with a series of envelopes, and this is one of them that can be printed and look just like this one. And last of all, this is a make, this is number 10, right? And I got this white paper, embossed part of it, left the bottom without embossing, and layered at the bottom black beans dyed paper. I have a tutorial on my YouTube channel on how I make this dye. Then I use dictionary page, 2 vintage ephemera, vintage or antique ephemera, and let me see what else. Oh, this one is from Ripple's Paper Lover, and the other one is from Postal Love. The lace is from Sarah Crafted Paper Bits, and the die cut is Tim Holtz, And the frame is also Tim Holtz, which I recycled from cardboard that came with a purchase that I made. For the top, I used some broderie anglaise from a dress that belonged to my aunt when she was young, and she's 89 years old now. So probably this fabric is about 70 years old, I should imagine. And I used a big brad with some trims hanging on top. I think it's very delicate. So this was my participation in the challenge. I hope you have enjoyed seeing the makes on Instagram and watching this video as well. Thank you so much for being here with me. I would appreciate it if you would follow me on Instagram and subscribe to my channel here. If you like this video, please give a like. Thank you so much. Bye bye.